For too many of us, the reason that we end up getting stuck in our business is that we go against the cycle. A lot of people forget that it was only about 200 years ago that the West became more powerful economically than the East. In fact, it's been for some 5,000 years that the dominance of all economies was on the East and was in China. And it was only with the Industrial Revolution it moved over to the West, and it just so happens to have now moved back to the East again. So what's interesting about the seasons is we already know the cycles we go through in our industries, in our relationships, in our companies, that they always start in the spring season, which is always that first season in which the Chinese call wood energy. It's about starting things, it's about growth. And some of us are very, very good at that. But as it moves from the spring season to summer, which is where you actually go from wood to fire, you're going to find that there are people who have a winning formula at the beginning of their business, which suddenly becomes a losing formula. All of a sudden, all that creativity they had does not help when they're trying to build a team. And then you find that from the summer, you'll always go to the autumn, which is where you now are settling. So it's no longer about the wood or the fire, it's now about the earth energy. And that's where it's not about the question, what should I do or who should I do it with? It's now the question, when should I do it? You know, people who are good at timing are good at when. So there's different questions we ask in different phases of the season. And like all industries, this happens as well. From the when, you then go to the how, which is the metal season or the winter season, which is very cold, it's very focused. It gives you an entirely different set of answers. And you'll have some people who are very much on the how side, who are very good at being able to understand the detail, but they can only get to that detail after these three questions have been asked. So anyone who starts a business by saying, how should I start it, will never start it. But someone who is then at a point where they know someone's already said what we're going to create is this, who we're going to work with is this, when we're going to actually do it is this, now how we're going to do it, that becomes a lot easier. For too many of us, the reason that we end up getting stuck in our business is that we go against the cycle. A little bit like you might jump into a car for the first time and hear that because fifth gear is the best gear to go fast in, we try and start the car in fifth gear and wonder why it never starts. So understanding these cycles are very useful, and especially when there's things like economic crises going on, understanding that we ourselves are part of bigger cycles allows us to know why it is that we now have entrepreneurs who were making money, let's say, for example, in America, who now are choosing to make their money in India. And there are people right now who are making money in UK who are now choosing to make their money in China. Why? Because they understand the seasons. Just like a surfer knows that sometimes the waves move along the beach. And so it's not about whether you're a good surfer. It's whether you're good at choosing where the waves happen to be.